The Super Mario Bros. Movie is a huge hit with audiences, and has completely blown up the box offices with the power of 1,000 bob-ombs. While there may have been a few shortcomings here and there, the cast and crew gave us so much to appreciate in many different departments, from the visuals to the sound to the subtle and not so subtle references located everywhere. Really, there's so much to love, and that's what we're talking about today. I'm Kyle with Wicked Binge, and this is everything we love about the Super Mario Bros. Movie. The first thing we have to praise up and down is the movie's beautiful animation. Illumination hasn't exactly been the most highly respected studio amongst animation fans, with a lot of criticism being levied at their basic character designs and cheap animation. When it was announced that they were the ones working on a movie about the most beloved video game series of all time, many people were understandably a bit skeptical. But not only did Illumination step up their game and deliver by far the best looking movie they've ever made, but they actually proved to be integral in creating visuals that would successfully translate the characters into film. To give an example of what we're talking about, look at Bowser's appearance in Wreck-It Ralph. His movement is kind of stiff, which works as a background character, but wouldn't fit if he was the main antagonist to that story. Illumination found a way to keep the design of Bowser consistent with his appearance in the games, while at the same time making him much more expressive for an animated feature. It's this visual balance Illumination struck with making its visuals simultaneously beautiful, fun, and faithful, with some very understandable creative liberties that gave these characters some real polish. The next thing that we absolutely love about the Super Mario Bros. Movie is all of the references littered throughout the film. We're not going to go into every Easter egg in detail here, as we have a separate video dedicated to doing exactly that. Instead, we'll be going over how well they were implemented into the movie. A series like Super Mario, which has run for several decades, has no small shortage of references to pull from, whether they be from arcades, consoles, handhelds, or even TV shows. As such, we got a healthy amount of homages to properties old and new, from seeing Bowser in his wedding suit from Super Mario Odyssey, to seeing an arcade machine called Jumpman that parodies the Donkey Kong cabinet. And references didn't stop at Mario, as we also saw nods to other Nintendo properties including Duck Hunt, Punch-Out, Balloon Fight, Star Fox, and Pikmin, among many others. You might call this product placement, but we don't know a single Nintendo fan who wasn't pleasantly surprised to see these nods in the film, given Nintendo's history of referencing its own legacy in its games. One thing is for sure, whether you've been playing Nintendo games for 4 decades or 4 days, the Easter eggs and references found in the film will make any video game fan smile. One aspect of the movie that we're happily surprised to be praising is the voice acting. The reason we say surprised is because this cast, particularly its lead, were met with a lot of apprehension during its initial announcement. The first trailer then garnered a mixed reaction, with many condemning Chris Pratt's Mario, but lauding Jack Black's Bowser with praise. Having seen the movie, we have to say things did turn out for the better. People often highlight Jack Black, Charlie Day, and Anya Taylor-Joy as giving the standout performances here, with most of the supporting cast such as Seth Rogen, Keegan-Michael Key, and Kevin Michael Richardson doing a great job as well. And yes, even Chris Pratt's Mario was very good. Like, Chris Pratt legitimately did a great job. Charles Martinet's cameos are great as well, and we're gonna go ahead and take a minute to pat ourselves on the back for predicting that John DiMaggio was going to be in the film in our Super Mario Bros. Movie Characters We Want and Who Should Play Them video. Granted, he's playing Mario's uncle and not Yoshi, but we'll take it. What many people consider to be the film's best overall quality is its accuracy to the games. If you've been a Super Mario fan since the beginning, we're sure you have memories of getting hyped up to see the first big screen adaptation of the beloved game series. Then, provided you actually went to see it way back in 1993, your hopes were immediately crushed, as what you were watching was about the furthest thing from a Mario adaptation as humanly imaginable. The 1993 film has achieved cult status nowadays, but Nintendo and Illumination made sure to not repeat that same mistake, and instead made sure to stick incredibly close to the original series. This new film looks, sounds, and feels exactly like a Mario movie should, and was made with a much higher dedication towards pleasing its built-in audience, which was an incredibly wise decision. There are still a few differences here and there, like the movie showing Mario and Luigi's extended extended family, who are very rarely, if ever, seen in the games. But these differences are understandable and don't detract from the film. The Mario games themselves aren't even that consistent with each other, so we're not going to act like the movie can't make some changes here and there from the source material, as long as it doesn't stray anywhere near as far as it did in the 1993 outing. Generally speaking though, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is about as accurate to the game series as anyone could hope for it to be. Next up, we really have to highlight the movie's amazing score. This movie was composed by Brian Tyler, a pretty well-respected film composer that was responsible for the scores of Iron Man 3, several entries in the Fast and the Furious franchise, the Expendables trilogy, and the Now You See Me films. The Super Mario Bros. Movie was the first time he spearheaded the music for an animated film, and we have to say he did an outstanding job. He worked closely with Nintendo composer Koji Kondo to make sure the score of the film sounded as authentic as possible. Now, we have to admit we do have some contentions with the licensed music in the film, as hearing popular 80s songs like Take On Me and Thunderstruck was pretty jarring and out of place. That's not enough to ruin the film, however, especially when the actual score is so top-notch. There were some old familiar songs that did feel much more fitting, such as the DK rap and the Super Mario Bros. Rap from the Super Show. We applaud these inclusions in the film, and maybe in a sequel we could hear songs like Jump Up Superstar or Do the Mario. Also, we can't forget that Jack Black performs a song as Bowser in this film, which is phenomenal. Literal chills. Of course, we can't have a great Mario movie without the inclusion of lovable characters. There have been so many Mario characters throughout the years that it would be practically impossible to fit all or even most of them into a film without it becoming way too bloated for its own good. As such, the film wisely narrowed its focus down to many of the most iconic ones, including Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, Bowser, Kamek, Donkey Kong, and Cranky. There were still many supporting characters, including Foreman Spike, Pauline, other Toads, and enemies in Bowser's army, which gave the observant viewer a lot to appreciate. This is especially true for Donkey Kong fans who were able to spot Diddy, Dixie, Kitty, Funky, Swanky, and Chunky in the crowd during the fight between Mario and Donkey. The film also introduces a few new characters into the mix, including the Penguin King, Mario and Luigi's family, and a crazy Luma named Lumily. All these additions thankfully work very well in the movie, and don't feel out of place or distracting in any way. Overall, this movie certainly delivered in bringing us lovable characters, be they from the games or new to the story. We also have to say that we really love the action here. This is a very fast-paced movie that rarely stops for a moment, and as such, we get a lot of really cool action sequences. These include Mario's battle with Donkey Kong, the Mario Kart chase on Rainbow Road, Luigi getting chased by Dry Bones, Mario traversing through Peach's obstacle course, and the final confrontation with Bowser. Each of these scenes are fast, beautifully animated, thrilling, and a lot of fun. Sometimes the movie even takes cues from the games by reverting into a side-scrolling segment that resembles a 2D level. The filmmakers also made sure to put a lot of power-ups throughout the movie, including the cat suit, fire suit, ice suit, Tanuki suit, and Super Mushroom. This is a great way to add variety to the action sequences so we never feel like we're watching the same fight twice. Much like the characters, there is no shortage of Mario power-ups to choose from, so a sequel film could include things we didn't see in this first film, like the frog suit, metal suit, hammer suit, or even penguin suit. Whatever the case, we're glad the film kept a brisk pace and provided a lot of variety in its many action sequences, whether they be one-on-one battle between a man and a monkey, or trying to take down an entire army of Bowser's minions. But real quick, before we get to our last entry, if you're a fan of video games in our usual Spectrum formats, make sure to check out our gaming channel, One Up Binge. We make video game good to evil videos, sentencing videos, and more, and we'd love to have you all check it out. Link below. This might be a slightly controversial take, but we're gonna say we really like the plot of the Mario movie as well. Many detractors of the film have cited their biggest issue with it, being that the story is extremely basic and the characters don't receive much development. The thing is, we actually don't disagree with these points, but we weren't looking for something super complicated or deep in the first place. The plot probably could have benefited from an additional 10 or 15 minutes of runtime. In the film, the Mario brothers find a pipe to the Mushroom Kingdom Kingdom from Brooklyn, while Bowser steals a Power Star and attempts to get Peach to marry it. In other words, this is exactly what we were expecting. Nothing more, nothing less. You could make the argument that the movie plays things too safe, which we do understand to a certain extent, but we've already praised the accuracy in this film. You can definitely tell this is a story made for Mario fans, not movie critics, which is why general audiences are having a much more positive reaction to it. The final thing we're going to praise today is the movie's setting. The film takes place in a few primary locations, those being the Mushroom Kingdom, the Jungle Kingdom, Brooklyn, Bowser's Castle, and Rainbow Road. All of these locations are beautiful to look at and stay very faithful to the game series. Even Brooklyn, which doesn't look all that out of place, even with Mario and Luigi in their bright outfits. We also see glimpses of other areas, such as the Sand Kingdom, the Icy Kingdom, and Yoshi's Island, which are brief, but look as beautiful as any other environment. We've already praised the animation and accuracy to the games, and it's through these elements Illumination was able to make this amazing setting come to life. It makes us excited to see even more locations explored in future installments, given the high bar of quality they've set in this first outing. Whether we travel to Isle Delfino, outer space, or even Roadport, we're confident this animation team will deliver on bringing whatever setting to life. But let us know in the comments section what your favorite thing about the Super Mario Bros. Movie was. Make sure to hit that notification bell and binge our other Super Mario Bros. Movie videos. But most importantly, stay wicked.